How long has NASCAR been racing at Martinsville Speedway? Since the very beginning. On July 4th, 1947, more than 4,000 fans jammed into one-year-old dirt half-mile racetrack to watch Fonnie Flock beat his brother Tim, Buck Baker, and sanctioning body founder Bill France himself in NASCAR's sixth ever race. The racetrack that Clay Earls carved out of the Virginia countryside was shaped like a paperclip and just 137 feet more than a half mile in length, 0.526 miles to be exact. Other than an asphalt paving job in 1955 and the addition of more durable concrete lanes in the 12-degree banked corners 21 years later, Martinsville Speedway, the only remaining NASCAR venue from the 47 season, is the same configuration it was when the gates were first opened. And then there's the addition of the grandstands to increase seating capacity from the original total of just 750 to the 85,000 it boasts today. Now a NASCAR property, Martinsville Speedway hosts the NASCAR Cup Series, Craftsman Trucks, Late Model Stocks, and the Whelen Modified Tour. With short, tight, modestly banked corners, the competition is tight and can get quite physical. After 500 laps around Martinsville, few, if any, of the cars are unscathed. Tonight, it's the ZeroX Strategy Series Fueled Up 150, and it's next on Track Limits Network. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the virtual Martinsville Speedway. I'm Steve Singer with Track Limits Network, joined in the broadcast booth by Colt Ansley. How are we doing, Colt?
Doing pretty good. How are you doing?
We're doing good. Tape delayed broadcast from the ZeroX Strategy Series, the Fueled Up 150, about to get underway. Practice already in the books here tonight. Qualifying underway as we speak. A couple of minutes away from our race session, so let's not dilly-dally any further here. Let's get into the race details for tonight. 150 laps the distance, 75% fuel, 2 tire sets, no fast repairs. Forgot the fast there. One attempt at a green-white checkered finish. This might be setting the tone for the night, but either way, that's where we're at. Looking forward to this one. Either way, short track racing, always fun to watch, but will we see a bunch of bent sheet metal here tonight? I think the answer may be yes.
Yeah, Martinsville is one of the short tracks, Martinsville, in my opinion, is the crown jewel. It is one of my favorite places to run at, one of my favorite places to watch races. You can't go wrong with Martinsville.
As of right now, a qualifying session, just over a minute left in it. Wesley Jeanette, the top time for now. Before we get too deep into things, though, let's thank the sponsors that help make this league run here. 217 side-by-side riders, Hot Sauce Daddy, Snowbelt Industries, ZeroX Media and Design, and, of course, Fueled Up, title sponsor of tonight's race. Colt, we had a short track last night in the IROC Challenge Series, Bristol Motor Speedway, another half-mile oval, but much higher banks and shorter straightaways. What changes the approach here at a place like Martinsville? Very flat, very long straightaways, lots of heavy braking. How do you get around this place?
Yeah, it's, you think with the sharp corners, you want to drive it in as deep as you can, get heavy on the brakes, but you're going to burn through your brakes so fast, burn through your right front tire so fast that I actually prefer to run this place a little bit differently. Lifting early, rolling into the corner, kind of dragging the brakes almost, and wait until the car gets pointed, and then get back on the throttle. And if you've got it handling right, you can almost kind of slide out of the corners, but you're not really sliding. It's just the car is yawed out like you would see at the super speedways or not super speedways, the speedways in intermediate tracks. And it helps preserve your tires, preserve your brakes, because brake fade is a thing in iRacing. And the last thing you want to do is hit that middle pedal and it goes straight to the floor.
Last night we talked to Dale Jr. about his approach with the brakes as far as that was concerned. In qualifying, he had the brake bias shot pretty much all the way to the front of the race car. Forgot to roll it to the back in that first segment, so to speak, and it burned off the right front. Is that anything that these guys need to worry about here at Martinsville?
Yeah, for sure, Steve. I used to run a really low brake percentage at short tracks for the longest time, trying to get that car to point into the corner. And as I had kind of learned about short tracks and what they like and what the cars like, I pretty much run a 65, 70% brake bias almost anywhere. I typically don't go below 65% because I like the tires to last. And again, at a place like this with concrete on the inside and then lots of marbles and asphalt up top, you've really got to take care of your tires.
With that said, here it is time for our starting grid for the Fueled Up 150, about to get underway. On pole position with a lap time of 18.960 seconds, it's the 74 Fueled Up Motorsports entry of Wesley Jeanette. Outside pole position, almost identical lap time. In fact, identical down to the thousandths place. iRacing doesn't take it out any further than that, so a very close time here at the front of the field. Ken Lowry will start outside pole. Row 2, it's Chris Cornett and Brandon Moore. Row number 3, it's Trevor Quisenberry and Johnny DePasquale. Row 4, it's Jason Blaney in the 22 with Nick Gardner to his right elbow. Jackson West and Austin Walton will round out the top 10. Starting 11th, it's the 38 of Nathan Line with Ray Hanneman starting in his number's sake, 12th position. 13th starter, it's Tommy Pulte. Juan Linares will be 14th. 15th is Steve Tapley Sr. Briley Hassard, 16th. 17th goes to John Tiller. Ben Smith will be 18th. Kerwin Marshall in the 19th position. 20th, Jason Aranchak. 21st, Brenton Watts. John Kelly will be 22nd. Blake Hochschild will be 23rd. Tony Smith, 24th. Chris Pieria is 25th. 26th starter from Trash House Racing. It's the 69 of Cody Austin. Scott Stockel will start 27th with Michael Thorne in the 28th position. And the last 4 drivers did not take time in qualifying. Clint Hayfield, Nathan Ostrowski, Corey Denson, and Darren Jones. They'll be 29th, 30th, 31st, and 32nd. It's your starting grid here for the Fueled Up 150. About to get things underway. I think everybody's about gridded up here, so we should get rolling at any moment.
Jason Blaney already ready to go.
Pace car rolls away, so 1 of 2 pace laps before we see the green flag here tonight. Again, race details if you're coming in late. 150 laps the distance here, 75% fuel, 2 sets of tires over the wall, no fast repairs, and 1 attempt at a green-white checkered finish. Well, Colt, short track racing, kind of your expertise. Who's your pick tonight?
I don't know if I would go that far, but
Come on, you're the SCAR late model champion, our super late model champion.
I'm going to go Chris Cornett. He was really fast last week, got caught up in some messes not of his own doing, running a Dale Jr. throwback paint scheme, which looks pretty cool. I think I'm going to go with Cornett.
I'm going to go with... Oy, oy, oy. We'll go old Johnny D in the 1. Johnny DePasquale, starting P6. Pace car's in, green ready to go. And there we are, we're racing from Martinsville Speedway. Oh, and Wesley Jeanette goes around on the start. Oh, we got big trouble off turn number 2. They continue to spin. We don't make it 2 corners before the yellow flag is out. Well, Colt, is this a sign of things to come?
That is called setting the tone.
What's the line we always hear? You can't win the race on turn 1 on lap 1, but you can certainly throw it away.
That is true. I don't even know what exactly happened to Wesley Jeanette. I don't know that he made contact. I didn't get a great look at it, but thankfully they were going slow enough. I don't think anybody heard anything.
So Wesley Jeanette started from pole. He's back in the 8th position. I think that might have been where he fell to prior to the yellow actually being waved. So that'll move the 88 of Chris Cornett to P1.
Yellow, I don't think was for the 74 spinning. I believe it might have been Looking through where he was, and I don't see him. So yeah, I believe that was Jason Blaney that was turned backwards there on the back straightaway there. I believe that might have been the issue.
Blaney shown in the 32nd position here, which is interesting because he's in the middle of the pack right now. I'm curious, Colt, if that yellow coming out the way that it did, as early as it did, that it screw up the timing and scoring.
Well, it was one of those orange cars. They all look too much alike.
Well, Blaney's, I mean, he's shown 32nd. He started much better than that. I think he was 7th or 8th.
Could have been Nathan Line, because Blaney's got a lot more silver than what I saw. Well, either way, there was the car pointed south when it should have been pointed north.
Yeah, I think these are all wave-around cars. Yeah, Blaney's sitting right in front of Cornette, so I think when we catch the one to go, we've already, on lap 0.5, we've got a handful of wave-arounds. I think they're going to get him out of the way right now.
Yeah, I think that's just the way that the pace car... Oh, boy. Pace car's already off. This ought to be good.
Green flag.
Run, boys, run.
Yeah, they better go before they get all caught up, because that could jam up everybody more. And they're going to wave off the restart here.
Yeah, that could have gone sideways, quite literally, had they have thrown the green there.
Same token, it might have worked out. You know how they start the endurance races? The P cars get fired off first, and then there's a big gap back to the GT cars. That might have worked out, separating this field a little bit.
Yeah.
Well, we'll slow it down here. Pace car is going to duck down to pit road again, and we're going to try this a second time. Here we go.
Good start by Cornette, but boy, when they say tail end of the longest line, they do in fact mean the longest line. That was a lot of cars in that inside group, just honestly kind of snaked out though, so...
Oh, Jackson West trading paint, I think with Wesley Jeanette. No, that was Brandon Moore. Wesley Jeanette in the back of Jackson West, though. Looks like Jackson West got the memo that this race was going to be under the lights. What a spec map on that car.
Yeah, I thought that was a Tony Stewart throwback there for a minute, but it seems like it's just the orange and white, but it is good looking, that is for sure.
We've got yellow on the field again here. Second caution of the evening. It says third in the timing tower. Here we go again with that. I think this overlay does not like the short tracks, because we had a tape delay recently that wasn't an issue whatsoever. I think that might have been a North Wilkesboro one. I'm not 100%, but either way, ignore the caution count in the tower. It is not accurate. However, maybe with that wave off, it may have triggered a third yellow. I don't know.
Yeah, I believe they had to call the yellow flag again, or they delayed the start after the pace car was off, so sometimes that counts it as another yellow.
On the bright side, caution laps do count. So if this one gets out of hand, at least we will tick laps away one at a time. I will say, Colt, that 88 car with that Dale Jr. throwback scheme looks pretty sharp.
You beat me to it, Steve. You beat me to it. I was going to bring up the fact that I'm sure you were looking at it, probably going to pick it just based on the paint scheme, considering you were talking to your best friend yesterday.
Yeah, I couldn't be that cliche.
It is a good looking one, though, with the precision on the side.
This camera is not in a good spot. There we go.
Must have been a Fox producer that set that camera up.
Yeah, right. Austin Walton in the chat says, those white shoes on the 9 look good. Let's see if we can find Austin Walton here on the Speedway and get a look at that car. There it is. Ooh. a bit of a throwback. Trying to get a side shot of the thing. There we go.
I started singing in my head the Life Would Be a Dream from the Cars movie, if anyone remembers that.
Well, we're doubled up for the restart. Pace car will roll to pit lane. Let's try it again. Caution 3, technically. We'll call it 2. Here we go. Quisenberry takes a look in 3, gets into the back of the 88, opens the door for the 35 of Lowry. They're door banging off turn 4.
Quisenberry, I believe, locked his brakes up. He was trying to get in right behind Cornette, and the back end started to fishtail just a little bit. Did a good job keeping it straight.
Still the battle for second, Lowry and Quisenberry.
Quisenberry able to clear, rolling the momentum on the top lane.
Field's starting to get stretched out a little bit. Ranchak making a look to the inside into turn 1. Not enough momentum, and one car way up the racetrack. I think that's Chris Pieria high on exit.
Yeah, you don't want to slip up outside of the concrete. If you do, it's like driving on ice.
And Ray Hanneman is around. Ooh. Hanneman in the WeBuild Jax Ford Mustang. Adding a little unplanned heat into those Goodyear Racing Eagles.
Yeah, Steve, that had every look of got a little too hot on the loud pedal out of the corner. Able to lock it down, though. Here's no damage. An oddly dark color for a Fueled Up Motorsports car. I wonder if he might be in a backup car.
Yeah, that's the test scheme with some extra stickers. So Gamer981 says the horsepower changed a lot here. Did you guys change the horsepower in the session, or are you talking about the update for the 670 package? I think it's the iRacing update.
Could be, but I have seen that iRacing now allows you to increase horsepower and adjust your weight in hosted sessions.
Probably be the same here in the league sessions.
And you know me, Steve, there's never enough horsepower underneath these things.
Well, like I was talking about earlier, about you winning that super late model title back in the day with Scar. I mean, talk about a car that's way overpowered, but man, it's a lot of fun. I truly think this next-gen car needs to be a 900 horsepower car with less rear spoiler, no diffuser, and less tire. Force these guys to manhandle these race cars for 400 miles.
Yeah, I 100% agree. Like I said, there's no such thing as too much horsepower, because speed is going to be achieved whether it be by raw brute strength of the motor or by the aerodynamics, and we've seen that time and time again at places like Daytona and Talladega, and heck, even Texas, Kansas, Las Vegas. I mean, you got guys flipping over because air is getting underneath the car at Las Vegas. Like, you can't... No amount of downforce is going to save that, and as we all know, what happens to downforce when it is flipped in reverse? It very quickly turns into lift.
I also vote to lift him about 4 more inches off the ground. Now I might be showing my age, but whatever.
That's alright, I don't think a splitter should be on a stock car.
Pace car back in, ready for the restart. Cornette and Quisenberry on the front row again. Cornette takes the bottom. We're back racing. Nick Gardner in the fourth spot, side by side with Brandon Moore. Might get clear on exit of 2. And we have another wreck here, but it does not... Oh, I clicked the wrong car. Yeah, that'll happen. So Steve Tapley looks like he got the worst of it. Dustin in the chat is in agreement. He says they're supposed to be professional drivers, right? Unleash the horses. Yeah, I'm 100% in agreement.
Dustin, if we got off on that conversation, I mean, if you didn't listen to the podcast Steve and I did together, I believe we touched on that at one point, but I mean, we could have 5 or 6 episodes just talking about what we could do to the car, so that would be a never-ending story. See, it appears the 6 of Quisenberry. Oh, and the 11's got front-end damage as well. I was just saying the 6 has some front-end damage, but the 11's got the right front caved in. Definitely no ZeroX's for the ZeroX car tonight.
Well, it's certainly starting to look like a Martinsville race, that's for sure.
All we're missing now are the battery-powered concrete saws, or the gas-powered, excuse me.
Baseball bats. Yeah, Dustin, there isn't a podcast. That was the last episode he did, ever. It was so successful, Steve, he hung up the microphone.
Steve, I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about it. I'll get back to it eventually.
Yeah, okay.
That was the most viewed episode, though. Was the one you came on. You'll have to show up more often.
I'd be down. We were talking about doing one kind of akin to the whole Dirty Mo Media, making a Track Limits Network style broadcast. I was going to call it the bus stop.
Or off track limits.
Yeah, there you go. All right, ready for the restart here once again. Cornette Quisenberry still out front. It's Lowry, Nick Gardner, Brandon Moore, and Johnny D, the top 3 rows.
Chris Cornette gets a good restart every single time. Just drives away.
Nick Gardner now back to 5th. Deep Pasquale and Austin Walton. And there's contact with the 27, and he straightens it up. Oh, too much correction. Up the track in front of Kerwin Marshall in the 48 of Juan Linares, and we got a big stack up here on the front stretch. What a wad up we have. It is a parking lot here just shy of start-finish, and in comes Ray Hanneman and T-Bones. I think that's the 21.
Oh, the 21 and the 12, they can't seem to get away from each other. Boy, that was a parking lot. Nick Gardner tried to save it, but it looks like once he got up onto the paint and the car got upset on the curves, that it kind of just snapped back around on him. And up into the field. I was just about to mention how good of a race car that looked as well, with the blue chrome and kind of the tribal lines on it.
Which one was this? What number?
Gardner in the 27. Fortunately, it's a little bit more scuffed up now.
Battle scars.
That, and I believe the 48 car of
Juan Linares.
Juan Linares, yeah, he's got the excuse me, he's got the patriotic Jimmy Johnson paint scheme.
I can't for the life of me find it. There it is.
And it has seen better days.
That is a battle-worn flag right there. Yeah, it looks like Juan's going to step out of the race car.
Yeah, that right front's not supposed to point that far over. That is definitely going to fail tech inspection.
Do they really tech the cars when they're that tore up?
You know, I'm sure they probably do every now and then, because I'm sure people will deliberately break things just so they don't get teched.
I mean,
you know what I mean.
You know it's not going to pass in the laser station. I mean, those things are measuring the width of a dime.
Speaking of things I think they should change, but we're not going to go down that rabbit trail.
I'm with you on that, too. Go back to a template. Basically, what we're saying is, go back to the Gen 6.
I'm gonna keep my mouth shut, because again, I got yelled at last time I said what I think we should do.
Yeah, well. It wasn't so much being yelled at, it was just, you're wrong. I'm not arguing, I'm just explaining why I'm right.
Just, you know, there wasn't enough clearance on that car that we will never have anyone lifting the left front trying to get weight pushed back to the right rear to pass tech.
That's okay. It's all part of the game.
Speaking of game, Chris Cornett, see if he gets another good restart here. He's been lights out every restart tonight.
Brenton Watts, the 21. Got tied up with Ray Hanneman in that last yellow, running in front of Kerwin Marshall, though. I think Marshall is not a lead lap car. No, he is a lead lap car, but maybe Watts is not. Oh, and around he goes by himself.
Oh, into Hanneman again.
I think that's that's a money shift, I think, for the 21. I think instead of upshift, he downshifted, because that thing just snapped around.
Straight on to pit road he goes. No smoke coming out the rear end, so it doesn't look like he blew it up, but likely a little bit of frustration.
I've got all kinds of ideas for iRacing. How about giving us the option to choose the quote-unquote tire model?
Kind of like the tire compounds, like what we see with the F1 cars.
Not so much that, but like obviously Goodyear does their tire test to kind of determine what's the best tire for the race weekend. You know, okay, they go do a test and they cord a set of tires in that first run, but then okay, maybe it's good after that. But maybe there's a little bit more durable tire with a little bit less fall off. Do you kind of gamble? Do you go with that tire that has a ton of wear and 2-3 seconds of fall off, or do you go a little more conservative and bolt on something for the race that's going to be good? Everybody has to run the same tire, but give the league admins the choice, you know?
Yeah, that would be that would definitely be beneficial, I think.
Dustin goes, Steve for iRacing president. I know a guy that works there. Well, I don't know him, but
you had to chat with him yesterday.
I talked to him for 2 minutes last night.
You don't remember a single word he said, but
well,
you know.
Other than he was having technical difficulties, but that was about it. I thought it was me.
Speaking of technical difficulties, I was on my phone to make sure I didn't miss that interview because my PC got caught in a power surge and had all kinds of faults going on with it.
Good advertisement for a surge protector. You got lucky on that one.
Yeah. My surge protector was beeping at me like R2-D2, and I'm pretty sure they were all expletives.
Just an FYI, when that thing fires because you've had a power surge, you're supposed to replace the surge protector.
Yeah, I need to do that.
Cheap insurance. So we're set for another restart here. A bunch of short runs here tonight, it's going to seem. Oh, and the 21 goes around, and he just takes it to pit lane. I don't think this is going to be a caution per se, but Brenton Watts having a hard time tonight.
Steve, I think Chris Cornett's fired in the same place every restart, and he still gets a 2-car length advantage every time.
Well, he gets the advantage of being able to fire first. So you watch Scott Stockel here back in 22nd. Nathan Line going around. That's not a position right now. And Chris Pieria is coming to pit road. Lap 40 up on the board. Stockel with a new paint scheme tonight.
Clean looking car.
I gotta tell you, Cole, these guys seem a little gingerly as far as their entrance to the corner, except for now as the 5 gets underneath Darren Jones. Jones up the racetrack.
Darren Jones, somebody else was moving over to let the faster guys through, and they kind of just had to send it in there and hope for the best.
Clint Haveld in behind the 5, takes a look. Traffic building, and he drives into the back of the 43 of Smith. Tony Smith goes around. And that'll put us under yellow again.
Even though it was Smith that went around, I think he's probably the one who got away with the least amount of damage.
Dustin in the chat again says, message your iRacing guy and tell him let us put custom paints on the pace car. I love it.
That is a terrible idea because I know who would be painting pace cars.
I mean, I'd do it. I'd be down. I haven't painted a car in a while.
Paint responsibly, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, you're supposed to do that anyway. Or better yet, let us paint a Red Bull livery on the Mercedes.
All right, well, hold on now.
Austin Walton.
Now we're getting into sacrilege territory.
Yeah. Austin Walton says iRacing should have it, or we can drive the pace car. Yeah, I've mentioned that one a couple of times. That would be awesome. I mean, honestly, for these league races, that would be fantastic. I wouldn't necessarily allow it on a hosted or even an official session unless maybe you have a Elmo Langley category where you actually have to learn how to drive the pace car and have a ranking, but
that would be pretty awesome if you could have a license system for the pace car. I have seen in the past, and I think iRacing might have disabled it, but I have seen leagues where they won't throw cautions. They will run the entire session green, and they will have a driver sitting on pit road that's scored laps down, and they will manually score the race. And I could never do that because I would be 3 bottles into ibuprofen before we even got halfway through a race. But I've seen them do that, and there will be a driver that they'll radio and say, all right, caution's out, go pick them up. And I mean, they got race directors and everything. That would be too much of a headache for me. But
you absolutely need to have a good admin crew, more than one guy, to make that work effectively, because every driver in the field is going to have to listen to what's going on, just like they do in the real deal. Or better yet, make it an option where you can turn the pace car off so you can at least activate the caution lights.
Mm-hmm.
We're creating all kinds of code and expenses for iRacing tonight.
Thank you, everyone, for coming to our TED Talk.
Yeah, right. Yeah, but Tom Janikowski makes a good point. Says, I like the idea of race sponsors for the pace car wraps. I mean, just for instance, you come up with a race logo for your league race, have it on the hood of the pace car, make it look legit. Gonna try this again. Chris Cornett, Trevor Quisenberry on the front row. More things change, the more they stay the same. And a later jump this time for Cornett, and he gets run in the back by, I think, the 35 of Lowry. Lowry dives it down to the bottom of the racetrack to try and take the second spot. We'll watch this fight.
Yeah, these two have been battling side by side for the past couple of restarts. Oh, Quisenberry to the outside of Cornett.
Lowry unable to take the spot, but the 6 now, a little bit of charge here, looking to the outside of the 88, way up the racetrack. You can't venture too far up there.
Oh, drives it in way deep to get back to the bumper of the 88.
Yeah, I think the 6 is definitely quicker right now.
He's giving him little nudges, letting him know he's there. many cautions as we've had, though, I don't think he wants to give him too big of a nudge. But at the same time, he might need to get to him while he can, because if a caution does come out and he's not the leader, he's got to redo this all over again.
Brakes finally getting some heat into them here at Martinsville Speedway as they become cherry red just from the friction alone.
Burnett doing a good job guarding the entry, but you see him starting to slip up there in the center.
Yeah, Quisenberry's definitely quicker right now. He's just got to find a way around.
These two are shot out of a cannon, though. They got almost a second and a half on Brandon Moore in third place. Lap car coming up, though. That could be a gift for Quisenberry.
Darren Jones slow in front of the leaders. Last minute dive for Cornette. Jones goes way top, lets these guys go away.
Oh, six kind of nudged him up a little.
Clint Hayville in the 17th spot. He's gained 12 positions from the drop of the green flag, battling to the inside of Jackson West. Oh, and he gets into the 76, and West goes around.
Oh.
Hanneman getting clipped again.
He has been a magnet for all the wrecks tonight. None of them his fault.
OG Holiday in the chat says these paints look so good here at night. Stream looks great. Thanks, OG. The paints are fantastic, but we also bumped up the bit rate to 30,000 here tonight for the 4K broadcast. There's smoke coming out of my router right now. So Cornette, I think Colt caught a break there with that caution coming out because the 6 was ready.
In more ways than one, not only does he get to hold the lead, but the 6 might have got his tires a little too hot trying to get past him. While Cornette really could manage his tires a little bit better. All he had to do was make sure he didn't get run over from behind. You can already see the chunks of rubber flying off of these cars. Steve, it's always funny watching under caution. It's not funny when you're in it, but it's funny to watch when you see all these guys that are trying to get damage repaired and pace cars come, especially at a short track like this. You get all you can get while you can on pit road, and everybody's just making this mad scramble to the exit of pit road, trying to get out before the pace car gets there if they close pit road.
Yeah, I mean, with the way this night's going, I mean, if you're going to gain any positions, pit lane might be the place to do it.
Well, and just staying in the race, because eventually somebody's going to break something important and they're not going to be able to continue. Pick up spots just through sheer attrition.
Well, here we go. Half a lap away from the restart here at Martinsville Speedway. It's been, well, I'll just say it, a caution fest so far. But we'll get through it.
Start for Cornette, but a pretty good start for Quisenberry as well.
Oh, he is there. Almost got a piece of the back bumper of Chris Cornette.
Steve, I think I saw the 88 move up a little bit. He might have been looking in his rearview mirror.
He's changing lanes a little bit. He's getting a better run out of the corner. Jackson West involved in the previous caution. Back in the 23rd position. He gets to the back of the 21, and he goes around, and the caution is out again. Or is it? No, now it is.
I would hope so, backing up into the pack.
Am I giving everybody a headache yet? Last night when I talked to Dustin Rogerson about this race, he says, I'm not even going to bother telling you about the cautions. He was that frustrated with how the night went, but I will thank Dustin for pointing it back out. He did eventually send me that detail, that information here in Discord, so I appreciate that. Kind of gives us something to follow along with.
I would imagine that was a headache all its own.
And I will give these guys a huge round of applause. They all ran this race last night. They know how it went, and yet they're still here in the stream chat watching the broadcast. So thank you guys for doing that. I appreciate it. It helps us, obviously, here at the channel, but it shows the commitment that you guys have.
Not only are they here in the stream chat, but they're not down there having a street fight in the process. So.
Well, that may have happened last night. Who knows? Dustin says there were just so many. Yeah, I get it. They can't all be perfect, Dustin. You guys have had some spectacular races. You're bound to have a bad one every now and then.
This is a makeup race.
Next year, do Suzuka instead. No?
I'll be busy that weekend.
Honestly, I think it'd be a blast.
Oh, I love Suzuka, but boy, these cars there.
No, they're just big GT3 cars, Colt.
Yeah.
That was sarcasm.
The worst part about sarcasm is when you're not entirely incorrect.
Well, yeah. All right, set for the restart again. Pace car will make its way back to pit lane. They might need to put fuel in that pace car before the night's over.
Need a relief driver. Oh, Brandon Moore.
Scott Stockel up 9 positions in the 18th spot. Oh, and dive bombs it in onto Tony Smith. Sends the 43 around in traffic. Did we get a yellow out of that or no?
I don't think we did, and that's not the first time those two made contact tonight.
No, we stay green.
No cautions out, I believe. Pace,
oh, there it is.
Pit road lights just went red, yeah. About to say pace car was coming out. Well, in that start, too, I caught out of the corner of my eye. Brandon Moore sailed it off in there after Trevin Quisenberry kind of got him sideways a little bit, but he was able to recover.
I mean, that is a tricky part, too, about these short tracks when you're all bunched up the way that you are. You really got to find a reference point on the fence. I haven't even checked if the racing line is even allowed to be on in this league. Many leagues do not use it. I've used it in the past for some of the road course leagues, mainly because it was 100% road courses with 90% oval drivers, so I was trying to give some guys the benefit of the doubt. But if you're tightened up on the back bumper, even with the line on, you really can't get a good eyeballs when you need to be up on the brakes. So you got to find a reference point, whether it's a caution light or the Valley Star logo on the wall or whatever it may be. if you can't see it, you don't know when to get on the brakes, and that very well could have been how Brandon Moore got so deep into the corner.
Yeah, and it's not just a visual reference. You also rely on the sound of the car, depending on what gear you're in, and on restarts, it could be a little bit different. So you're not all the way through the gears yet. So you're listening to a little different RPM. You see the 6 trying to be aggressive to get to the 88. Maybe Moore thinks he's a little faster and wants to get to him before that. I mean, there's all kinds of factors, and just the jitteriness of all the drivers being in this many cautions. Like I mentioned earlier, you've got to get what you can get while you can, because otherwise you're just going to be kind of sitting in whatever pace position you're in.
I mean, I've used that method as well, listening to the engine RPM. I know back at Richmond, I think it was in the truck back in the day, based on the way it was geared. As soon as you start to get on the chip, it's when you have to let off and get on the brakes for turn 1. But on tracks with high tire degradation, for those that don't follow Formula One at all, that doesn't always work, because late in the run, you might not hit the chip because you don't have the grip on exit. You don't have as much corner exit speed, which means you're not going to carry as much speed down the straightaway. So you still need to find a solid reference point. This is my absolute latest braking point. But again, that changes. You can go brake deeper into the corner if you're not running as much straightaway speed. So you got to kind of pay attention. Maybe you pick 2 different markers, one for earlier in the run, one for later in the run.
Yeah, agreed. And that's why you have to practice short run pace, long run pace, even medium stints, just to figure out where you're going to be at the end of a run at a tire deficit and fuel deficit.
Gamer981 says, Brandon Moore doesn't use the racing line. I get it. I know. I'm not accusing anybody of nothing. I'm just saying. Oh, trouble down the backstretch. Oh. Nathan Lyon and Jackson West again.
Boy, Nathan Lyon has had a rough night. Sorry, that's not Nathan Lyon. Jackson West has had a rough night.
And I think that thing's broken in the right front. It does not want to turn. No, he seems okay, actually. It's still tore up. Well, with that, I know we're under caution and there's going to be a restart, but we're going to try and get our side-by-side break out of the way as we're just shy of the halfway point of tonight's race. Stay with us. We'll be back after this. Spartan Transportation and Spartan Logistic Management is your one source for all your shipping needs. 53-foot dry van shipments, auto transport shipments, full-service in-house brokerage, drop-lot facilities, just-in-time deliveries to all auto manufacturers, facilities in St. Louis, Missouri, Kansas City, Missouri, and Indianapolis, Indiana. Spartan Logistics, LLC, proud sponsor of the IROC Series, Kyle Steffens UMP Modified and Silver Crown Driver, and Gordy Gundaker, World of Outlaws late model. Visit us at spartan-logistics.net or find us on Facebook.
Need insurance coverage that's built for speed? Frank Yea's office in South Charleston has your back. Whether you're blazing down the highway, protecting the home you've built, or setting up a legacy for your family, we've got the coverage you need. Auto, home, life, fast, simple, and made for you. Scan the QR code on your screen now to explore all our services and start a free quote today. Lock it in, save it for later, or call us at 304-744-7700 to get started.
Back to the fueled up Demolition Derby at Martinsville Speedway. Chris Cornett continues to lead Trevor Quisenberry. This has really been a great battle all night long, regardless of the cautions. Real curious to see how this one plays out. John Kelly in the chat said, the stream looks great. Can't wait to join the live when I wake up in the morning to catch the end of the race. It's not so bad. We're past halfway. We're on target for under an hour and a half. I think we'll be fine. Quisenberry really putting pressure, gets into the back bumper of Cornett.
Boy, Steve, these two have been throwing haymakers all night long. And with the amount of caution laps we've had, every time they've had a restart where both of them got away, they just drove away from the field. I don't think they're too worried about saving tires because everybody's got so many heat cycles on their tires right now that it's not really going to matter. Everybody's tires kind of suck, so they're just driving away and battling out between themselves.
Really wish I had a camera on board these race cars for that front brake rotor assembly, but unfortunately, I did not do it. So that's on me, boys.
Shame, Steve. Shame,
Yeah,
shame.
no.
Another lap car here.
Darren Jones up the top of the racetrack, let the leaders on through. Some more lap traffic up ahead. That's Michael Thorne.
Quisenberry's got to be thinking, what do I have to do to pass this guy? Bumped him. I've tried diamonding the corner. I followed him through. I've tried taking a whole other lane. Can't even get lap car to hold him up.
Well, I think at this point of the race, I mean, everybody out there does not want to be the next caution, especially if you're a lap car with leaders coming.
Yeah, but at this point, the kind of mental fatigue has already set into the drivers. They're just like, oh, let's just get through this one. It's been rough, especially the guys that have damage. They're just trying to get whatever points they can. And if they don't care about points, they most likely have already parked for the night. So they're just trying to get the best finish they can get out of it and not be in anybody's way. Top two have officially entered the treadmill of all the cars kind of running all the way around the track. After the first 10 laps or so on a restart, there's cars everywhere at a place like Martinsville. Oh, they catch Tony Smith in a bad spot.
Well, Tony stayed to the bottom, though. They both got around clean.
At least he stayed in his lane.
Cornett's driving it real deep and on entry, and he washes up the racetrack each time. If Quisenberry can find a way to capitalize on that. This time he does not.
I'm trying to watch honestly, the color of the rotors on their cars to see whose car gets brighter each corner. Might be an indicator of who's using more brake.
Jason Ranchak in and around the 15th position, and around he goes.
Oh, lock it down, boys. Boy, Ranchak was holding his breath right there, just trying to get the car straight, make as small a target for the other cars as possible.
Solo spin out of the 84 here. Didn't really collect anybody, luckily. And brake's still hot on that machine, though, even under yellow. Leaders in pit road.
Interesting that they must be coming in for fuel because tires haven't seemed to matter that much. But Brandon Moore stays out. Looks like it's just the top two entering pit road.
This could be dangerous for these top two with so few drivers following them onto pit lane. There's a few, but not a ton.
Yeah, Steve, I feel like they would have to be pitting for fuel because tires really even if the lap times are falling off, as shorter runs as we're having, tires really don't matter that much.
Well, if you're going to fill it full of fuel at this point, you might as well bolt them on. Got a couple of sets to work with, so they still have another set laying if needed. We're past halfway, so they've gone that full distance. They've got to kind of be under the understanding that the way this race is going, it's probably going to continue with the consistent cautions. They're not going to get a huge run under green.
And now these two have worked their way through lap traffic, but now they are in the middle of the hornet's nest. They have got to work their way through the position cars. They're no longer lapping them. They're racing for position, so they're not obligated to move over.
The other side of this, Colt, if they can stay out of trouble, again, we're well past halfway. That was the first pit stop for those guys. They don't need to pit again. They're done.
Yeah, everyone else does need to get fuel, unless they're banking on there being enough cautions that they can just shut this car off and coast the whole time. But I don't think you can save an entire stint worth of fuel. They've got to come in eventually. They could be relying on getting enough green flag laps in and enough heat cycles on the tires for the 88 and the 6 that they have to come in and get their tires taken their last set.
Top 20 cars still on the lead lap here. So now it'll be Fueled Up Motorsports to lead them back to green. The top 4, Brandon Moore, Wesley Jeanette, Johnny Deep Pasquale, and John Tiller. Jason Blaney rounding out the 5th spot.
First time we've seen Wesley Jeanette on the front row since lap 1.
Turn 2.
Well, he makes it through turn 2 this time. Brandon Moore gets a really good restart. Jason Blaney, we were talking about him after that first wreck, being at the tail end of the lead lap. He's in the top 5 now.
Clint Hayveld up 16 in the 13th spot, salvaging a decent night. Oh, too late on the brakes, so gets into the back of 9. Austin Walton. Walton up the racetrack will collect the 16 of Hassard.
Big time hits for the 9 of Walton and the 16 of Hassard.
I think Tony Smith
That's a hard angle.
Tied up in something, too. He had some damage on the left side of that race car.
I was just about to mention Austin Walton with the white shoes may have been pulling a pro gamer move. You can't really see the brakes glowing behind all that white paint. But when he got punted off into the corner to try to stay off the 16, you could see it shine through a little bit. Doesn't appear to be any permanent damage on the 9. Wheels relatively straight and it's still rolling, so he might be alright. Just get the fender pulled out.
Yeah, right front caved in a little bit there on the number 9 machine. Should be able to straighten some of that out.
Sorry, Brian Hassard, you can see the right front is broken on his car, it appears.
I don't think Hassard's salty about it at all.
There's some of the trash talk we've been waiting on. I keep meaning to point it out, though, the 16 is a good-looking car, although it's got Honda on the hood.
Honda makes generators, not just cars. Dirt bikes. As we get set for the restart here, still 20 cars on the lead lap of the 32 that started tonight's race. Darren Jones way out of position here on the restart, way up the racetrack. He's going to be slow to fire, and he turns Kerwin Marshall.
And then gets turned. Oh, look out, boys.
Oh, Nathan Line doesn't lift. Austin Walton goes, get in line with the rest of them. And OG Holiday says, dirt bikes, baby. Two-stroke for life.
Well, that might have been a mercy kill for Nathan Line. Drives into the wreck, and before the car even stops, he's out.
Speaking of dirt bikes, Colt, maybe we dump a whole bunch of dirt on this place and run a little American flat track around here.
I thought you were about to say stock cars, and we were about to really have some issues. But yeah, no, flat track would be fun.
You know how I feel about dirt racing. It's for growing potatoes, not for racing cars.
Those flat track guys, man, they'd be flying around here because they run on horse tracks most of the time. They don't really have more than 1 or 2 degrees of banking most of the time.
Yeah, but you could leaven out some of that with the dirt. I mean, even when they put the dirt down on Bristol, it wasn't 36 degrees or even 30 degrees or whatever. 36 is the old banking, but still.
The true Bristol banking.
Darren Jones says the service was telling him to let all those guys by at the last minute.
Ooh. It does that occasionally. Drop some life-altering information in your lap right as you're going green.
Right. Goes Jackson West getting a lap back.
Although we've had a lot of wrecked cars, there's not that many that are a lap down, and with as many caution laps as we're getting, there's a lot of lucky dogs, and as slow as we're going, not a lot of permanent damage, or at least total damage. So a lot of these guys still able to continue.
OG Holiday in the chat says, I used to race dirt bikes on the ice. That's something special. I got to wonder about that. Are they running, this might be a total idiot question because I know nothing about it, but are they running studded tires in that ice racing with those dirt bikes? Or is that too much grip?
I've seen someone take a shifter cart on like a frozen lake.
That'd be cool.
Big frozen lake, and they are just hauling.
And let's try it again. Brandon Moore, Johnny DePasquale on the front row. Bunch of fueled up motorsports still upside in the top 5.
Here, Brandon Moore was waiting for Wesley Jeanette to push him through the restart zone. He never did.
Corey Denson in the Mental Health Bros Racing Machine. A lot of guys may want to check that out after this race. Oh, and he gets into Ben Smith, and the 11 goes around.
Boy, they scattered around him.
OG confirms it. Yes, studded tires. That's cool. With about 4 pounds of air in them.
But can you imagine high-siding one of those things on the ice?
Yeah, no thanks.
You'd probably slide for half a mile before you ever even started to slow down.
No road rash there.
Those shifter carts I had seen running on the ice, they almost drove like drift cars because they would, obviously they have no suspension, so they would just kind of step on the brakes and get one tire to lock up, and when they did, it would jump them into a Need for Speed style drift, and they, you know, drift for 150, 200 feet, and then stomp on the gas and grab a gear and kind of flip it around the other way, almost mixture of Need for Speed and Mario Kart. Every now and then they'd stomp on the brake completely and spin it around, and then grab a gear and keep on going. Some people have way too much money and way too much time on their hands.
Austin Walton doing his best Denny Hamlin impression. That's just short track racing. For those that don't know, that was Denny doing a Joey Logano impersonation. So Austin impersonating Denny impersonating Joey.
Impersonationception. That was hard to say. That was a lot of letters.
Yeah. Words are hard.
Well, as you know, Steve, I am nowhere near bilingual. I consider myself to be semi-lingual. He's either having to think about that one or just shaking his head.
Yes to both. It's Mr. Waff says, my favorite color is yellow, so I'm very happy right now.
Hey, we're making light of the situation.
Ironically, it's the color of friendship, but I think there's a lot of angry MFers up in here tonight.
Well, the yellowwood paint down on the bottom is turning black, almost like a Hornet's. And Steve, I don't know if you've ever been stung by a hornet, but they hurt, and they're not real happy, so I think the hornet's nest is a literal interpretation of the field tonight.
We've stooped talking about hornet bites here at Martinsville Speedway. As the green flag is back out, Brandon Moore gets away from his two teammates, sails it down into turns 1 and 2. Wesley Jeanette, Johnny DePasquale side by side for second. Wesley gasses it up, and there's a caution just right out the gate.
Looks like right on the front straightaway entrance of 1.
Scott Stockel appears to be one of the drivers involved. The number 99 of Corey Denson, the other. So the hits just keep on coming. Mr. Woffs goes, these cautions are almost old enough to vote. Ay, ay, ay. Again, if there's any newcomers to watching the broadcast here for ZeroX Strategy Series, I assure you this is not the norm.
No, not at all. I mean, we even had a similar race a couple of weeks ago in another series where caution laps did not count and damage was turned off. But we made light of it. It was a lot of fun. Thankfully, it ended. And the very next week was probably one of the best sim races I've ever watched. Short of the ones that I've won, which is not very many.
Jackson West on pit road. We'll watch the stop because the crew members are active.
Oh, and I love the Buzz Lightyear suits.
And Buzz says to infinity and beyond, and Jackson leaves the stall. OG Holiday says, I can't believe I'm watching this. I still have a headache from last night. At least you guys in the booth are keeping us entertained. Well, we're trying, man. It's all we can do. And honestly, we're having a good time nevertheless. I guess when we know it's going to come and it's going to be like this, it's not as frustrating.
You can kind of get in a mental state.
Yeah,
for
you
it.
can prepare for it. And Colt said it during the break. We're kind of treating this almost like a casual podcast more than anything else at this point. But we'll call the action as we see it. Pace car is in. Late restart for the 3 of Brandon Moore. Again, jumps away from his teammates.
Ooh, Jason Blaney thought about jumping down in front of the 26 of Pulte there. Quickly decided not to. Oh, Pulte up the track a little bit.
Checks up there, gives room to Blaney, but loses some ground. And Chris Cornett to the backside there of Pulte, making a move to the outside.
Steve, a
Oh,
couple
and on the front
oh.
stretch. Tony Smith, Austin Walton tied up. There might have been one more.
Well, I guarantee you Austin Walton is sending his tire guys down to the Goodyear tent to remove the white rims, because that doesn't seem to be giving any sort of good luck.
Walton giving the 43 a shot there at the end to say he didn't appreciate it.
Brandon Moore's been doing good on these restarts, though. But Steve, if you look a little further back, is that a Budweiser paint scheme I see?
Indeed it is. There was Cornette running behind Pulte just before the caution. Still sits in behind the number 25. Sorry, 26.
And directly behind the 17 of Hochschild, I see a BuildSubmarines.com car. They have worked their way back through the field.
Just about 30 laps to go here at Martinsville Speedway. I know we say this almost every week, but I would give this league best paint schemes out of any that I cover. Everybody's out there with a cool scheme. Change it up usually week after week. The spec maps on these things are showing some reflectivity with these lights on Martinsville Speedway. They all look sharp out there.
Oh yeah, they do. And they still show some personality with the run of the throwback, but their own custom sponsors as well.
Walton hammered down, trying to get caught to the tail end of the field. A little less than half a lap away here for the restart. Pace car heads to pit lane.
There seem to be all kinds of disorganized here in the back.
Slow to fire, the 45. Marshall gets a little tap to the back bumper on the 45.
Man, Steve, at Martinsville, when you start further back like that, you almost have to go one more gear down because of how slow it is due to the accordion effect. Oh, a big lockup on the left front.
Oh, a stack up ahead there, and Dennison and Hayveld go around here at start-finish.
Oh, more contact. Tony Smith wanted nothing to do with that one. He's been involved in enough incidents tonight. Saw him slam on the brakes. Something must have happened in front of the 45 of Hayveld there, because that was a massive lockup of his left front. I don't know if maybe they saw someone get out of line and kind of smelled blood, trying to get around maybe a slow car up ahead.
I think it was
Or
gear
just
oil, not blood.
misjudged the corner either way. Speaking of that, could you imagine if they added cars overheating, started leaking oil?
I think they should. I'm waiting to see the steam come out of the overflow. It's all
That would be
subtle
pretty cool.
things that they can do here in iRacing. Obviously, it all tasks the systems of everybody, and they don't want to integrate all those types of updates in one shot because it would probably negate maybe a quarter of the users out there on the service that they wouldn't be able to run the graphics.
Here's what I would like to see, though. I'm gonna get a little bit nerdy here for a second. I'm not a computer genius, software genius, but I do know that there are the coded aspects of the software, where the actual functions of the game, the math, everything. But then the visuals that we see, that's just a layer painted over these boxes. And we see custom paint schemes courtesy of Trading Paints and iRacing's built-in painter. What I would love to see is the ability to customize, like we talked about earlier, the pace car. But the sponsors, I know that they've got contracts, probably multi-million-dollar contracts, but the ability to customize the banners on the wall.
You took it out of my head.
Around the track.
I was thinking the same thing earlier. Like, change that FS1 logo to Track Limits Network.
Oh, yeah.
Change the Xfinity logo to ZeroX or whatever.
Because all they would have to do, and the reason they don't is because they bunch all the files together, the visual files and the functional files together. It's
one layer.
It's one layer. Separate that layer and open it up to the modding community. Every simulation or game, however you want to call it, has exploded in popularity the moment modders get a hold of it.
Problem is that opens up the door for cheating.
Yes.
You make it open
as
source.
Long as you can do the visual layers. You don't want to open up everything else, but just the visual layers.
Greenback on the racetrack here. Battle for second and third here is Cornette to the outside of Johnny DePasquale. Gets the spot. A massive run. Goes to the inside of Wesley Jeanette. Maybe a little contact. They get away with it clean for now. Johnny D off turn 4. Loses 2 spots in 1 lap. Slips back to P4.
The 88 of Cornette, the 74 Jeanette, they haven't seen each other since turn 2 on lap 1. Cornette trying to fight his way through.
Oh, big wiggle.
Oh.
DePasquale now to the outside. Hammers down off of 4, and he loses the car in front of Quisenberry. Big wreck behind him. Quisenberry goes around. Austin Walton gets through this one. John Tiller.
Boy, one of the fastest cars of the night caught up in that one with some pretty hard hits. I don't know what his damage is.
Might be high-sided here, too. Nope. Yeah, clear.
I was about to say, don't even get me started on that, but that front end looks pretty crumpled up. No suspension damage that I see. Man, they had just worked their way up to the front, too. Cornette gets clean. Quisenberry gets caught up in the mess.
So the 6 of Quisenberry, arguably one of the fastest cars on the racetrack here tonight. Maybe one of the few that had something for the 88 of Cornette, at least out in front in clean air. Certainly not going to be the case now. That car will not be at the same pace that it once was, though he may be okay here to stay on the lead lap, salvage a top 10, but he's going to have some work to do.
You think Cornette breathed a sigh of relief there? I'm sure he didn't want to see anything happen to Quisenberry, but his main competition might have just been taken out.
Still needs to get by Brandon Moore, and Brandon's been firing off beautifully here in these last 5 to 10 restarts.
Cornette was kind of the same way when he was leading it. It definitely seems the leader gets a much bigger advantage here in Martinsville than really a lot of other tracks.
Jay Sano 1385 says now these cautions can almost drink. Well, if they're from Ray Hanneman's hometown, they can drink now.
If they were in Ray Hanneman's house, they could probably drink for sure.
Well, he's in Canada. You can drink at 19 in Canada.
Lucky.
Yep. So we'll line them up again here. Laps winding down. Be 137 when we take the green flag. Again, if it comes down to it, 1 attempt at a green-white checkered finish if so necessary.
Coronet with a good restart. Had to jump on the brakes, did not jump ahead of Moore.
Jeanette now jumps to the inside of the 88, but the runoff will go to Coronet.
Oh, Jason Blaney.
Way up the track.
Real loose in. These two know how fast Coronet has been all night long. Their teammates as well. They're probably racing him just a bit harder. Trying to protect the leader.
You know they're going for that fueled up 1-2, but right now Coronet finally clear of the 74 of the pole sitter. Wesley Jeanette gets to the back bumper. Brandon Moore knows it's time to go. He wants to get clear of that 3 car before the next yellow. Makes a move to the inside for the race lead in turn number 3, and he's got it. What a move.
Brandon Moore, I think, was trying to cross him over, let him go. And
and
then
Hayville's around, backs it into traffic, and almost gets drilled.
And Brandon Moore's got to be kicking himself now, allowing the 88 to get up underneath him like that.
Well, he'll have another
Coulda held on
opportunity
to
at
lead.
it here with the restart, but I don't know if anybody can touch the 88 right now. He is lights out fast here tonight. Survived the carnage. That car still looks clean, and sometimes at these short tracks, that's half the battle.
Well, where I'm from, now the cautions can't drink.
Tough night for the 45 at Clint Hayville. That's his 3rd incident here this evening.
Unfortunately, at places like this, you see a lot of repeat offenders, and it's a lot of times they're no faults of their own. It's just kind of the night will get away from you, and at that point, maybe you're just trying to burn up all the bad luck while you can. Maybe you'll turn your season around later on.
Should get the 1 to go this time, which will set us up for a restart at lap 144 of 150 laps scheduled.
Not quite a natural green and white checker, but almost. Before we go green, though, I mean, shout out to all the guys who have been involved in multiple incidents tonight. Sticking it out. Just trying to get whatever they can get, keep the car count up.
Every point matters. 7
It's
laps
nice
to
to be able
go
to
at
say
the
that
line.
again.
Johnny Di Pasquale to the inside of Tommy Pulte, and now Quisenberry. Oh, and he runs into the back. Austin Walton up the racetrack. Collects the 6 of Quisenberry. Under caution again. Oh, and he gets into Darren Jones coming down the racetrack.
And the hits just keep on coming for Quisenberry. Backed it into the wall pretty hard there. Di Pasquale shaking the car back and forth, trying to see what's broke.
And this will set us up, I believe, for a green-white checkered finish, or maybe we got one more. Speaking of Moore lost a few spots on the restart there. He slipped back to the 3rd or 4th position. That'll set us up with Wesley Jeanette and Cornette on the front row as we get the restart. Cornette, the pole sitter here tonight. Sorry, Wesley Jeanette, the pole sitter. Cornette started back in P3. But without question, at speed. The 88 has been the car to beat this evening.
Last time these two were side by side, though, the roles being reversed with Wesley Jeanette being the leader, I believe there might have been contact between the two of them. I wonder if Jeanette remembers that.
I mean, everybody else has bent sheet metal. Why shouldn't the 88?
Plot armor can only protect you so much.
Well, here we go. We'll get the restart at lap 149. So an attempt at a green-white checkered, but a natural one at that. No, this will put us into a legitimate green-white checkered, I believe. Oh, Cornette fires off. Jeanette doesn't get going. I don't know if he missed a shift. And we got big trouble here on the front stretch, and the caution is out. So that was a natural attempt at a green-white checkered, I believe. And this will set us up for an official use.
Boy, they were all kinds of stacked up. It looked like Cornette waited to go very late in the zone. He'd been going pretty early for most of the night. Caught Wesley Jeanette off guard, and just when you get the revs wrong, it can feel like you're in a completely different gear.
And this is it, I believe. Yes, that was a green-white checkered attempt, so the race is over. Chris Cornette will cross start finish line and pick up the win under the yellow flag here tonight. Certainly not the type of finish we wanted to see, but Cornette earned it. He was fast all night long. He was the dominant car. The fastest car still won. Brandon Moore will settle for second with it. Looks like Jason Blaney taking third place honors.
Yeah, without a doubt, Cornette was the fastest. Quisenberry was really the only one who could really challenge him, but boy, Brandon Moore's got to be kicking himself for not fighting the 88 harder.
And honestly, Colt, even through that, talk about dominance. He led 103 laps tonight.
And I would imagine when he pit, his heart just sank when only one other car followed him down there. Good job keeping his head in the game, keeping a level head, and working his way back through the field cleanly. I mean, he doesn't have a scratch on that thing other than the blue oval from Quisenberry giving him some bumps.
At the same time, though, Quisenberry did follow him down, so he had to think, all right, well, the other fast guy's coming with me, so maybe we're doing the right thing here. Obviously, it was, because Quisenberry followed him back through the pack. Unfortunately for the 6, he got caught up in another incident and then another after that.
Sometimes following the leader isn't a bad strategy. We joke about the Larry Mack quote of follow the leader, you'll follow the leader, but it's not always a bad strategy.
Chris Cornette ripping one hell of a burnout here at start-finish.
He got those fresh tires they didn't really get to use. He's using them up now.
Make Kevin Harvick happy for sure. Parks it on victory lane, and that'll do it from Martinsville. Well, a big exhale from us here at Track Limits Network. That one's in the books, but like I said, we got it done in under an hour and a half. Listen, a job well done by all these guys. I know it was a very tough night as far as the cautions were concerned, but they got it in. They got it complete. We got through it. Moving on next week, I think we're at Fontana next week. In fact, let's pull up the schedule for the rest of the season. Auto Club Speedway next week. So 75 laps, so 150 miles instead of 150 laps. Auto Club Speedway, very wide racetrack. We got plenty of space to race there, so we'll have to look forward to that one. New Atlanta after that, Kentucky Speedway, Michigan, then the All-Star race on the dirt at Bristol. Then the playoffs, Richmond, Las Vegas, Pocono, Chicagoland, Talladega Super Speedway, and The Rock to close out the season. A really cool mix of racetracks there in the playoffs. I would have liked to see a road course in there, but can't have everything, I guess.
Oh, I see. You wanted to see Watkins Glen in there. But yeah, this is a really cool schedule. Going to one of my... I didn't think it'd be one of my favorite tracks, but Auto Club next week, that'll be fun. The New Atlanta, I ran that for the first time, believe it or not, a couple of weeks ago. That's a ton of fun. Kentucky, kind of a forgotten gem, depending on what version that they're running. Michigan, another one of my favorite tracks. And then... funny, we were talking about dirt racing earlier. We're going to Bristol Dirt. That'll be a blast for the All-Star race.
With that said, thank you guys all for tuning in. We don't have any of our top three for comment tonight. I think everybody's just kind of hanging their hat and saying, all right, that's enough. Got to thank the sponsors again, though. 217 Side-by-Side Riders, Hot Sauce Daddy, Snowbelt Industries, ZeroX Media and Design, and, of course, Fueled Up, the title sponsor of tonight's race. Thank you guys all for tuning in. For Cole Ansley, I'm Steve Singer with Track Limits. Thanks for watching. Have a good night.